Starting from February 10th, serious wildfires broke out in Guizhou Province, located in southwestern China, with more than 200 large fires engulfing nearly half of the province. Sources say that the reason why the CCP has severely suppressed reports about the fires is related to China's big data centers in Guizhou Province. Meanwhile, Apple's data center in China, Guizhou-Cloud Big Data, which is used to store Chinese customers' iCloud data, could also be affected. Today, let's talk about this major event, which has not been covered much by other media. According to the CCP's official news, from February 10th to 21st, there were 221 wildfires in Guangzhou. Some say that half of Guizhou was burning. Others say that the area burned has been as much as 2 Taiwan. Not only were there fires on the mountains, but even the residential houses below the mountains were also affected. With the burning area and the intensity being remarkably alarming. The CCP's use of helicopters to fetch water to extinguish the fires has also been criticized by some people who are questioning how effective is such a way of extinguishing the fires. There are also many people who say that the fire was in fact not extinguished, but went out on its own after burning everything to the ground.
天，请你们到前面大家看下去。
For the people, the damage was severe. All the pigs raised by this farmer were burned to death. And as this man was recording this video, he was crying and saying, "Look, everyone, is it heartbreaking for you to see such a scene?" Countless houses and livestock were destroyed. Very heartbreaking. Everything burned down. This is the satellite remote sensing monitoring map of the fire sites on February 19th. This is a picture of dozens of cities on fire at the same time. Wildfires are nothing new and have happened from time to time in many countries, but I would like to make a few points here. First, for fires of this magnitude, the CCP's official media has barely reported anything, and the loss of lives and property is even less known. One might wonder in the age of social media, even if the official media didn't report it, something this big should have been spreading like wildfire on social media. But in China, social media is tightly controlled. Even if officials don't delete posts directly, they have ways of limiting the spread of certain topics and actively pushing some other topics to make them hot to divert the public's attention. For example, during the days when the Guizhou fires were in full swing, Chinese social networks were buzzing with rumors of an incestuous affair between a high school teacher and a 16-year-old student, and even videos of them were circulating online. A teacher having an affair with an underage student is something that should be severely condemned and even punished by law. But the CCP used this incident to cover up the fires in Guizhou so that even netizens who wanted to find out the truth on the internet could not get any search results or news about the incident. While the fire was spreading, many victims begged for help in forwarding information about the fire in an attempt to draw attention to the fire so that they could receive some relief. However, their efforts were in vain. Some netizens found that the CCP's Global Times reported the fire in Guizhou only once, while it reported the fire in Hawaii of the United States 26 times last year. This also shows that the CCP's tactics of controlling and manipulating public opinion are becoming increasingly refined and complicated. It is also becoming more and more difficult for people both within China and overseas to get the truth about China. As to why the fires broke out in so many places at the same time, the CCP official said that they were caused by villagers burning weeds, throwing cigarette butts, burning incense to their ancestors' graves, and so on, and that at least 8 villagers have been arrested. However, how could 8 villagers start more than 200 fires at the same time? Therefore, some people say that it is likely that a lot of villagers deliberately set fire at the same time to create such a situation. As to why the fires were deliberately set, it was also because of strong dissatisfaction with society and the need to take revenge on society, just like the vicious murder incidents I reported on February 15th. However, the overseas Chinese language YouTube channel Lude Media revealed that according to the inside information they got, the fires were caused by the CCP's big data centers built in the mountain areas in Guizhou. Because Guizhou has a unique karst landscape With many natural caves, the CCP has built the world's largest data centers in the mountains in Guizhou, which requires a lot of electricity. In order to supply powers to the big data centers, a large part of the mountain has been hollowed out and the natural ecology has been destroyed. Recently, due to freezing rain, dryness, and other special weather, the poor quality power cables caught fire. So it is said that the fires were caused by the cables, not by any villagers. I think this statement can better explain the sudden large-scale mountain fires. Guizhou Province not only has big data centers, but also the 500-meter aperture spherical telescope nicknamed Tianyan. This is said to be the world's largest radio telescope built in a remote place called Pingtang County, which used to be home to only 12 farm families. Looking at the location of this fire, this huge telescope is also in the area where the wildfires occurred. This is a map of the future urban development plan of Pingtang County released by the Pingtang County Huitetong Big Data Network on November 26 last year. All the red dots on this map are data centers. The two big dots are county-level centers, and the others are secondary data centers. The red dots on this map are also data center locations. This map shows that two highways that are about to be built will connect Pingtang County with Guiyang City, the capital of Guizhou Province, which is an hour's drive away, so that Pingtang County will be integrated into the Guiyang City's 1-hour economic circle. As you know, Apple, under pressure from the CCP, signed an agreement with the Guizhou provincial government in 2017 to store the data of iPhone users in China. In the Guizhou-based Guizhou-Cloud Big Data company, from February 28, 2018, the data of all iPhone users in China has been stored in Guizhou Cloud. Guizhou-Cloud Big Data Company is in Gui'an New District, which is the 8th state-level new district approved by China's State Council in 2014, and this new district is also located near Guiyang. And these are very simple temporary boarding government offices that were built when the new district was just established. I checked and found that Gui'an New area is also in the area where the fires occurred. So it is very likely that Guizhou Cloud was also affected one way or the other. Anyway, Xi Jinping is said to be at his wit's end over the Guizhou fires because the CCP's totalitarian rule now relies heavily on the big data centers, which were likely to have been damaged by the fires. A lot of satellite data from space are also stored in these centers, so the loss must be very severe, but the CCP can't talk about it. A lot of places in Guizhou are now without electricity, and the CCP has to transfer electricity from Sichuan province and rebuild all kinds of destroyed power facilities. This brings us back to the saying that heaven destroys the CCP. Since the beginning of the Chinese New Year, all kinds of extreme and vicious killings and weather-related incidents have occurred one after another in China, and the big data centers used by the CCP to suppress its people have suffered heavy losses, which makes us believe that the CCP may have really lost the heavens mandate. Well, that's all for today. If you feel like signing up for a membership or make a donation, please visit my website at jenniferzengblog.com. Otherwise, please help me spread the word by subscribing to my channel or sharing my videos. Thank you. See you next time.